Okay, we're gonna talk about color. We're gonna talk about colored pencils, crayons, and markers. There are some rules for each of them. The thing to have in the back of your mind the whole time is that Square One art is about being really colorful, so you wanna make sure that that's your goal for your picture. I'm going to start talking about color today. We're going to talk about crayon, color, pencil, and marker. Before I start talking about color pencil, let's just talk about black, brown, and gray. For right now, just skip them. Skip them entirely, or as long as your space is smaller than a thumbnail, you're welcome to use them. Don't panic if you have something big in your picture that's brown, like a horse or a car or a tower. Later on, we'll address how to use those colors, but for right now, just go ahead and skip them entirely. If we're thinking about craftsmanship and doing something well, when we go to start using color pencils, we want to think about a kind of beautiful shading. Normally, in art class, if you shade really softly and gently, that works really well. But Square One art is a little bit different. We may remember that they say they don't want you to use color pencils at all because they come out a little bit too soft. So what we do is we just kind of shade a little more brightly. So I'm going to show you that here in a second. I started with a kind of soft layer, kind of gently going around my shapes. I outline my shape first. Again, normally that would look beautiful. That would be wonderful. But for Square One art, it just needs to be a little brighter. I don't want to be pressing really, really hard on my color. I just want to kind of get less white spaces and a little bit more even shading. A really wonderful thing to do for Square One art, always a really wonderful thing to do, is practice layering and blending. So if my hummingbird's head is a sort of reddish orange, I might start with this red color, and then I might grab some orange, and I might blend it into the red to make a richer, more interesting color. I've shaded in the hummingbird's belly in a sort of nice light green. Here again, that might be a little bit soft. For Square One art, I might want to get my color a little bit brighter, help my picture sort of stand out. And again, I can think about what colors might blend in really beautifully with that green. Maybe I'll try some yellow, make my green a little bit warmer. Or maybe I'll blend some blue in. 2 or 3 colors will look beautiful blended into your colors. You can practice on the back to kind of feel good about which colors you're choosing to blend into your main color. The same rules for color pencil apply to crayon. So you want to outline your shape first, and then you want to shade kind of softly but get a little bit brighter. So if I'm starting with some red on the swing, I might shade softly, then shade a little bit brighter, and then I want to blend in again. So same way that I blended with color pencil, crayon looks beautiful with several colors layered together. Craftsmanship is really easy to see when you're using a crayon. So if you don't carefully outline your shape or you press really hard, it doesn't look like shading. It looks like you might as well have just used a marker for an opaque piece of color. So if you're using a crayon, you should be shading, and you should be doing it carefully so that you see crisp lines and soft shading within your shapes. 2 or 3 colors, again, will look beautiful shaded into your crayon. Marker can look really beautiful on a Square One art project because it can be bold, bright color, but the craftsmanship becomes even more important because it's really easy with a marker to do a sloppy job. So I need to see that in each space you use a marker, you outline the shape, and then I need to see that you hold not the tip of the marker, but the side of the marker, so we don't ruin our markers real quickly, to color it in using the same stroke. No matter how big the shape is or how small the shape is, you outline it each time and use the side of the marker each time to fill it in. I'm going to use a blue marker to work on the sky behind my hummingbird, but I wanted to talk to you about good choices and bad choices about blues. These two colors, blue and teal, look really, really dark in big spaces. So they're fine for a small space on your paper, but if you're using marker, don't use those darker blues for like a big piece of water or a big piece of sky. The other two blue markers are fine. Blue Lagoon or battery charged blue. Those are both fine in big spaces. You just don't want to use the darker colors. They'll kind of take away from the brightness of square one art. So I'm outlining my shape first. This is that cloud that I chose not to outline with a Sharpie. And I'm outlining it all the way around. So I was just saying that with marker, it really matters that you use the side of your marker to color in. So I'm going to show you, even in a big space, that matters. So it might take me so long to color in this space, but that's okay. It'll look a lot better if my strokes are all facing the same direction.